The UI3 demo project opens with an example level meant to be part of a former industrial building that has been transferred into an apartment. When played, the user can explore the apartment and make changes to some elements in the scene. But the building most likely has more than one apartment. This guide will show how to use the UI3 to explore the entire building. The user can view the building in an overview scene. Activating the unit picker will add a billboard to each unit that indicates the amount of bedrooms and the availability of all apartments in the building. Selecting an apartment can display more information and a preview image. Hitting the Visit button will open the level for the selected apartment. This could be a scene with all the options the user has in the original UI3 demo scene. Or, like in this example, be just the building with a kitchen and bathroom. All files related to the multi-unit example live in the MUP folder. Double-click the UI3 multi-unit P level in the Levels folder. This will open the Overview level. It has the building, the sky, and a basic mock-up of the surrounding buildings in it. The level browser shows 4 levels. The skybox is the same one that is in the original apartment level. The building level is a copy of the original one with the rest of the building constructed from the pieces that were already there, plus a few added cubes. The environment level is just a gray box mock-up of what could be the surrounding area. It's kit-bashed from just a few meshes. Here is a better example of an environment. The immediate surrounding is modeled. The Cesium plugin is used to stream in the Google 3D tiles. This combined with the ultra-dynamic sky can give the user a more realistic impression of what the views from their windows would be. Finally, the persistent level itself contains all UI-specific actors, and the player start. The main or persistent level needs to have the info map in it, like in any other scene. Applying the preset for the intended use will make sure all important settings are set correctly as a starting point. Next, the 3 streaming level names need to be added to the levels array. A player start needs to be added where the user should be when the scene is loaded. I placed a blocking volume here. This might not be necessary because the player should start in drone mode. This can be set in the Advanced section by ticking the box for Start Flying. You could also tick the box to start in game mode if preferred. A floor plan drawing should be added in the floor plan settings further down and aligned to the geometry. This enables the player position icon in the UI widget. The player starts in the air. The player position height check needs to be set to a value like 10,000 or 100 meters. Otherwise, the UI calculates that the player isn't in the current floor and the icon won't show up. I'm using a simple drawing as the image. All drawings need to be black ink on white background. The size doesn't matter too much. The compression of the texture should be set to UI. The UI layout is set in a data table and Use Data Table is ticked. Double-click on the data table icon to open it and make changes if needed. The first button in the menu opens the floor plan widget. It's the first row in the data table and is named Plan. The image has been added in the previous step. Next is the Edit Mode widget. It's named Unit Picker. It will let the user select a unit in the building to inspect. The Media widget can display some promotional images or videos for the project. The Tools button has 3 widgets in it: the Dynamic Sun, Screenshots, and User Save Slots. The user save slots are only added to check the username is set correctly. Settings are next. The 3 common settings widgets are added here, plus a couple of debug buttons. Settings should ideally be saved by the UI, but currently they aren't, and the default is set every time the scene loads. The About button can show general office and project information. The last button is the Exit button. The button name in the data table is left blank here. Untick and tick the Use Data Table checkbox after making changes to the layout. And the level with the info map needs to be saved. The data source and user management need to be set up in the data management section. This project uses local data tables. The data can also be obtained from Google Sheets, but this requires additional setup and a plugin. After selecting the data source, the user management needs to be set as well. For the overview map, the user data would be set from the selected data source. The server name is the name of the game instance that is running. Leave it at S1 for now. Unit ID and Save Set ID can be ignored for the overview map. The data table servers contains the list of Unreal servers running and which user is on that server playing at the moment. In most cases, there will only be one instance of the app running. The row name is used as the server name. The app will look at row S001 when it starts and pick the user ID from there. The data table users contains a list of clients or users that can use the app and save their choices. The app will look at the user ID, in this case U002, and then set the username in the app to Stefan from the data table. This may look complicated to you. The app runs fine if you ignore user management and if you don't need save slots per user and named reports. In a professional environment, you would probably manage the data from Google Sheets and create a customized web interface. This is out of scope for this tutorial. More about this in a separate video later on. There are 9 units in the building. They come in 3 layouts. Every floor has 3 units with the same layout in different positions. Often units with the same layout are stacked above each other or repeated elsewhere. A unit type is a unique layout and not a copy of another unit. This example shows 4 unit types stacked on top of each other on 3 floors. There are 4 data tables that contain the specs and data for all units. Best to make a duplicate of the existing data table and then assign that copy to the dedicated data table slot. This way you avoid data loss if the project gets updated. Data table units contains the spec for each unit. The row name functions as the unit identifier and needs to be unique. Unit type name is the row name that identifies the unit type in the data table unit types. Any sizes or cost added here will overwrite the value set for the unit type. If the value here is 0, the unit type value is taken instead. The data table unit types has the default specifications for each unit type. Some of the values here can be overwritten in the units data. The 2 editor data tables contain some data that is used in the editor only and do not need to be changed from a datasheet. The editor units data table has the name for a unit-specific sublevel that is only loaded for this unit. The unit offset and rotation are used to position the unit within the building. More in the second part of this guide. The editor unit types data table contains a preview image and the persistent level name that should be loaded to visit the unit type. The last step is to place an S.UI3 object info into each of the 9 units. First, the actor will only have the circle with the letter I visible. Select it and tick the box for Use Collision Box. A small yellow box appears. Use Box Scale 3D to scale the box and move it to cover the unit's front windows. The yellow box isn't visible when playing, but it lets the user select the unit. It needs to stick out a bit on every side that should be selectable. There are only a few settings that matter in the object info details. Set the list name to Unit or similar. Choose Unit Info as info type. Enter the unit row name. This is the row name set in the unit's data table. The list name followed by the unit row name will appear in the unit picker. Finally, add the billboards that will be visible to the user. Add a new array element to billboard positioned. This creates a new billboard next to the info sign. Use the values for the index to move the billboard in front of the windows. Another billboard could be placed on the side. Place as many billboards as needed by adding more array elements. Duplicate the info actor by holding down the Alt key while moving the actor to a new spot. The unit row name needs to be changed for each new actor. The yellow collision box may need scale adjustments as well. The unit picker now activates the billboards. The bedroom number and availability will be taken from the data tables and the billboard changes accordingly. Selecting a unit shows the unit info widget with the specifications for the unit. The Visit button will open the level named for the unit type in the data table. Make sure it is spelled correctly or the overview map will be reopened instead. The billboards are located in the unit info section of the info map. The next video will cover the unit type levels.